I'm gonna check on chicks first. And my goats are gonna be really upset with me. Because, all right, so I lied. I'm gonna do some chores first, and then we will do an update. Because then hopefully the goats can calm down enough where I can hear myself think. So I'm just gonna set you guys right over here. And I'm gonna do some chores. One thing that I'm doing today, that we've been actually doing for a while now, is we've been weaning off our goats from their mothers. And they are separated in this pen. Don't mind the fly paper. It's fly season. It just happens. So we separated them out and gradually stretching out how long they get to nurse off their mom. So today I'm joining them together. After I feed their mothers, I'm going to join them together and they will get to spend the day with their moms. And in the evening when they come back in the barn, because they just automatically put themselves to bed in the barn. In the evening when they come back to the barn to go to bed, I will lock the gate so they can't get out into the pasture and run all over. And I will just pick them up and put them in their separate stall. And it's getting close to the time where I let them be on their mother's milk for a lot longer because of the vacation and not being here to milk or just so many things. It takes so much logistical planning for milking season. So that's what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to do some watering and some feeding and some hay for the does, and then I'm going to feed the bucklings because they're all bucklings right now. They will be turned into wethers, which means castrated, not intact. It's like a goat version of neutering a dog. And then I will let them be with their mothers and they will have a grand old day. And it not only helps the goats, the young goats, but it helps gradually reduce that doe's supply of milk so that we don't have as much of a chance of complications like mastitis, and just comfort level for the does. So more to come on that. I'm just gonna go do that and then I'll be back. I have to introduce to you our favorite chicken on the farm. We play favorites. This is Big Eyes. She is nothing. I was gonna say she's nothing special, but she is very special to us. She is a mutt, or what we would call straight run. And she is very friendly for the most part. And she's very wise. And it is very good to keep wise chickens, even if they're old, because they teach your other chickens how to be wise. And she is a survivor. Hi. Yeah. We've had her going on 4 years, I think. Hi. Yeah. So, anyways, I had to introduce you. Oh, careful. Now, this might be a good time to film after. Now I'm gonna run out and feed the bucks, and then I'll come back. Because I think I'm gonna sit here. And you guys on some updates because this is better lighting, honestly. We might be joined by a whole bunch of chickens and some goats, whoa, in the background, but that's okay. So normally the kids do a lot of these chores. I'm doing them right now for 2 reasons. 1, I've been gone for 2 weeks and I miss my animals. 2, I've been gone for 2 weeks and I want to make sure that their body condition is not setting off any red flags. Our house sitter did a great job, but he doesn't know animals are animals like we do. And I just want to make sure that everything's going okay with them. So I typically do this when we come back from being somewhere. All right, so now you can see the boys are very excited. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus for their grain. So, we have water. And you can see they are bucks and they are intact, but they are so friendly. Not always to each other, but they're friendly to me. Here comes the chicken brigade to come and clean up after them. So, see, they're not always nice to each other. So now that my part of the chicken chores are done. Chores, not just chicken chores. So I gave the chickens some scratch. I fed, watered, hay, grain, water, hay, all the goats. The boys don't need any hay. They have hay. They have plenty of lush pasture as well. The girls don't have as much lush pasture right now. We had to cut them out of the front pasture because they were climbing all over the round bale that we just got for the cows and pooping and peeing all over it. So, hi, Shadow. I got another visitor. So we locked them out, but they have around the barn that has fescue and things that they can. Hi, baby. Got another visitor. This is Shadow. You guys have seen her before. She is also a hunter. Sometimes goes after chickens too. I'm wondering if she's the culprit for something. Anyways, so the goats are done. The chickens are done. That's normally my chores. If my husband is gone or out of town for whatever reason, obviously I have cows and pigs to take care of as well. He normally does all of his chores in the evening. So I do my chores in the morning and a little bit in the evening as well, but the majority of my chores are in the morning and the majority of his chores are in the evening. So when he comes home from work, he just takes care of that before it gets dark out, depending on the time of the year. Hi, big eyes. And the chickens are just gonna follow me and be loud. So, I'm gonna go back to where my coffee is and where there's less bugs. And then we're going to work on a little update of what's going on around here. Because so by the time you see this, it'll probably be, what is today? Bug. Today is July 11th. And this video will probably, I'm getting back in the routine of things. This video will come out next week. So some of these updates will be a little delayed, but that's okay. So walk with me and we will go back to less bugs and more coffee because that's important. Look at how beautiful. I love it. I love sunflowers. Just love sunflowers. few little updates. So taking a step back, sorry. We obviously don't announce this on social media and things like that because of safety reasons. Well, we were on vacation for 2 weeks, and our vacation started out as not as a vacation, but in January? Was it January? I think it was January. Maybe it was February. I heard announced on one of my favorite channels here on YouTube called Homesteading Family that they were going to be having a homesteading conference out in Idaho. Now, if you're new to this whole world, a lot of the homesteading conferences happen out east, like in the Virginia, Tennessee area. Well, Tennessee is kind of east. Yeah, it's east. So, and we had never been to any of them. So this was, and this was also during the same time that I had recently resigned from my job and we were trying to figure out life, and I hadn't been able to take a proper vacation with my family in 4 years. And I know that there's a lot of families that don't ever get a vacation with their family, like a legit vacation. So counting our blessings regardless. So we decided, you know what, this would be really awesome. There's a lot of like-minded people. We've always wanted to try one. Let's do it. So, and then the question came to, do we drive? Do we fly? Looked at airline prices, definitely outside of our budget, especially going down to one income, and a lot of unknowns there. So we said, you know what, let's drive. And my husband looked at me and said, you know, we've always wanted to do a road trip out west and visit some of the national parks. Why don't we make it a vacation and like lump it all into one thing? So we did. Hold please, I gotta check and see what those silly goats are up to. What are you doing? What are you doing? Being obnoxious? Yes. Being obnoxious, because you're a goat. Okay. So we decided to do that. So we're like, we knew we wanted to go see Glacier. And we knew we wanted to see Yellowstone and the Badlands. And so we figured out that since we were going to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, move this a little closer, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho anyways, hi chicken, that we were gonna go from where we live in Minnesota and we're gonna go north through North Dakota, then into Montana. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Into Montana. And then hit Glacier, which was amazing. Stay there for a few days at an Airbnb, which was amazing. And then go right over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Stay there for a few days, not in Coeur d'Alene, but surrounding areas. And then we would go south and we would hit up Yellowstone. And there's like this weird, it was like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming stretch that we did for a few days going into Yellowstone, going to West Yellowstone. And that was over the 4th of July. Stayed at an Airbnb there. And then from there, we left Yellowstone and made the trek across Wyoming. Stayed in Buffalo, Wyoming for one night, just because it was already a long drive. And then the next day, we made it across all the way to, did we go all the way to? Yeah, we went all the way to South Dakota and stayed in the Black Hills. And got to see the Badlands and Bighorn State Park. Bighorn State Park? Yes, Bighorn State Park. It was gorgeous. I have a visitor. see if I can get this. She's looking for food. And she's obviously not scared of me. Are you scared of me? A little bit, maybe? Maybe a little bit. Okay, so that was our journey, and we drove 4,500 miles. Over the last 2 weeks, we had somebody stay here on the farm to watch over the animals. I did have someone, a couple people just checking in on the garden, making sure it wasn't drying out, and it didn't, which is good. I had a few pest issues / chicken issues, which I'm gonna go through a whole garden tour update because I've only done one spring update. I'll put the link over here. I'm gonna do another one, several more updates, but I need to update you again because it's now pretty much midsummer. So, worked out really good. We got home, the dogs were fine, the cows were fine, the goats were fine. I was a little bit nervous, because I suffer from control freakism, and I just really like being home and knowing it's hard for me to step away from the farm, to be perfectly honest. But I'm glad I did, and we made so many beautiful memories. I'm just, wow. I'll put a few awesome pictures here at the end of this video so I can share some of the big smiles that we had. And we learned so much. We met so many awesome people at the conference. It was the Modern Homesteading Conference. I'm even using one of their mugs right now. I really like their mugs. And man, they put on a good conference. They worked really hard. It's Melissa K. Norris and Katie. Katie, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name, Katie, but they put the whole thing together with a whole bunch of volunteers and the grace of God and other people, and they did awesome. I got to meet and see people that I've only seen here on YouTube. I got to meet Daniel Salatin and Joel Salatin and the homesteading family, Carolyn and Josh Thomas, sorry. And just a lot of amazing people. So anyways, now we are back. It is now Tuesday. We've been back since Saturday night, a couple days ago. And we're just trying to get back into the swing of things. I've had pubescent chicken cackling. If that you don't know what that is and you think like something's dying, it's not. It's just a rooster coming into its own. So we're back. We're getting things kind of back to normal for us. And I have a lot of work, a lot of busyness going on. So our daughter is at camp this week. She literally got back on Saturday, left for camp on Sunday night. So she is at church camp until Friday. So we all really, really miss her. She is a big part of our life and a big part of the farm. So we all really miss her. And then next week is the county fair. This is the Chisago, not Chicago, Chisago County Fair, which is the county that we live in. And I am new to 4-H, but got involved with leadership in 4-H. And there's a brand new club that was started this year. So really excited for all the kids that have worked so hard on their projects. Hi, chicken. So hard on their projects. And next year, we didn't do any animal projects this year or food projects because of the timing with us being out of town, and just the logistics of it all. If there's a way to minimize stress in our lives, we definitely try to take that route if at all possible. So that's what we chose to do. and the kids were completely fine with it. Next year, I predict that we will be a little bit more involved in the livestock projects. Since we have registered dwarf Nigerian goats, I am requesting the kids to at least pick out one goat to walk in the show ring. If we're going to breed them, we should at least give them the experience of doing that as well. And it's all 4-H, especially because we're homeschooled, is part of their education too. So that's very important. I wonder if you're laying eggs back there. They're hiding them. Hang on. Nope. Where are you hiding eggs? I almost forgot one thing. I have to go check. Where was I? 4-H. So that is starting next week. The county fair runs the big part of next week. I'm going to be helping judging the clover buds. Last year I judged arts and crafts for the post clover bud years, which is the older, I think, 2nd grade and above or 3rd grade and above is non-clover bud. 2nd grade and under is clover bud. I think. Again, all new to me here. I didn't grow up doing this stuff. Now we are in almost the middle of July. It'll be the middle of July by the time you guys see this. True middle of July. I'm gonna try to get this out towards the end of this week so that I can make sure you guys have this update. And let's see here. Our chickens are laying eggs, but they're hiding them. That is the downside with free-ranging your chickens. They find stupid places to lay eggs. Hence, here's a tale. We found, not we, my husband went out to do his evening chores, went out to the 3-sided barn where we keep all of the minerals for the cows, and a chicken had laid eggs in basically half of a 50-gallon drum. They put a lot of the liquid minerals in there, and it was pretty much gone, empty. We just haven't moved it out of there. Well, a chicken laid eggs in there. I don't know if it laid on them, it just stayed warm in there. I don't know what happened, but all 8 eggs hatched. We don't know how long they were there. 2 were dead when he found them. Another 2, there was 8 total. Another 2 died yesterday. I don't know how long they were there. Like, they didn't have any food, any water, nothing. And then I went and checked on them this morning. We have them in a little brooder area. And I found 2 more dead. I didn't expect any of them to live, but we have 2 of them that are hopping around having a good old time in a brooder box, which I will show you a little bit later, in our chicken coop. So we have chicks. Again, that's the downside to free-ranging chickens. The upside to free-ranging chickens is they eat a ton of bugs. There is a huge Lyme disease and tick problem. I myself have had Lyme disease. It flares up once in a while. It's no fun. It's no joke. It's horrible. Horrible. So that's another reason why we free range our chickens, which we're maybe thinking we want to keep a few of them penned up so we can find our eggs in normal places like nesting boxes instead of Easter egg hunt every day. But they eat a whole lot of bugs, and the bugs don't cost anything too, so that's really nice. So the big priorities this week, I have a to-do list that is nowhere near rational. Why do I do that? Why do we do that? They're in there again. I can see they're in the garden right now. I need to do something about that. They figured out how to get into the garden. The chickens is what I'm talking about. And they destroyed my cabbage, or on the verge of destroying my cabbage. And I'm pretty sure it's not a bug. I'm pretty certain, because I haven't seen any cabbage moths anywhere. And they are also now starting to eat my broccoli. And then the other thing that's kind of a bummer is, unfortunately, the potato bugs went bananas on the potato plants while we were gone. I didn't even think to tell people to watch out for them. I completely forgot to put the Captain Jacks on them. Complete oversight. It is what it is. We will have a smaller harvest of potatoes this year. I might plant a fall crop, another season of, I still have more seed potatoes from the sprouting potatoes from last year. So I can still do that. And that's another thing. I need to get my fall crops in like now. I'm kind of like on the verge of, do I weed or do I get fall crops? And I'm thinking that my priority needs to be shifted a little bit to getting the fall crops in. Because if I don't get the fall crops in, they won't grow. The weeds can wait a little bit longer. They will grow. So the fall crops that I'm going to grow this year is, because I didn't get them planted in time for a midsummer harvest, I'm going to do carrots, which will actually work out pretty good, because as the temperatures get cooler, and when you get a first light frost, your carrots will actually sweeten. So I always interplant them with radishes, so I'm going to do that. Radishes help space out the carrots a little bit more naturally. So carrots and radishes. Beets, again, the frost makes them sweeter and they're more hardy. Pea pods. I don't plant peas. We don't eat a lot of peas, but we really like pea pods, fresh, and then we will freeze some for stir fry in the middle of winter. And maybe some potatoes and maybe some more broccoli / cabbage. We'll see. That's a lot. And none of them I have started from seed. So I will have to direct sow them so that they'll take a little bit longer. So we'll see how this goes. Last year I planted my fall crop way too late, and then we got a frost and then it was done. So I'm hoping that I'm a little bit earlier this year. With being gone on vacation, it's putting a little hitch in my giddy up, but we'll see. Hopefully we can make it work. And the other thing is we really, really, really need rain. If you are someone who prays, please pray for us to get rain. We really, really need it. It's bad. You can't even pound a T-post into the ground. It's so compact and hard. So it's really, 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 really dry. And when that happens, it just has a compounding effect on a lot of things, on feed costs, on hay costs, on animal costs. It's just bum, 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 bum. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some chickens out of the garden. I also need to fence off part of the north side fence because they have figured out how to get in and eat things. And the other fall crop I need to do is I need to plant some more lettuce because my lettuce went to seed when I was gone. And then the chickens scratched all of my lettuce that I had planted. So little turds. And again, when you don't live, the house sitter and people that I asked to help, they did awesome job. These aren't even things that I even thought to be like, hey, if you see a chicken in the garden, chase it out. I didn't even think to do that. I didn't. So they did a fantastic job. Thank you. So grateful. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm having my coffee. My son is still sleeping. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. I do have to work today and tomorrow. I've got some planning sessions for some exciting stuff that's coming up for this fall for the educational farm piece of it. Really excited about that too. So soon, again, I'm going to make sure that I get a video out. I need to make the video and then produce the video or make and produce the video and then edit said video and then get it out to you guys on a garden update. It is a mess right now, but that's okay. It's real life. So thank you so much for being here. So glad that you tuned in. I will try to get this one out as quickly as I can so that it can be a real-time update. Thanks everyone who helped us out on vacation and prayed for us, and we had safe travels, and we are back home on the farm. Thanks again. So many blessings. Have a great day.